gonna get my wife Pat to make a pumpkin pie cheesecake today. How's that sound?
Oh, that sounds phenomenal.
It's pretty good. It is pretty good, and it's the right time of year for it. We are built by the Barn Dough Co. and brought to you by our friends at Palm Casual. It's the best outdoor furniture you can get. PalmCasual.com. Their warranties and their guarantees are second to none. Like a lifetime guarantee. How's that sound? PalmCasual.com. 4 locations in the Carolinas, from the beach, Myrtle Beach, or the Dirty Myrtle, some often call it, all the way down to Bluffton, inland to Somerville. Folks come from everywhere. 27-25, Pat, the final score in Tuscaloosa. Obviously, you've played in that building and you understand what it's like to go down there and how difficult it is to get a win. It was a wonky game, right? Sometimes it didn't seem like it was going to go their way. And then certainly it felt like maybe fate was on the side of the Gamecocks, as Coach Spurrier used to say. Sometimes God is smiling on the Gamecocks. He winked at them Saturday, but they just couldn't quite get it done.
Yeah, I was on a golf course. I played in a buddy's member guest, and we had phone hooked up. We were watching Little League baseball on one because our boys were playing, and then the other phone we had Gamecocks on, so we were juggling back and forth in between shots, multiple shots, golf shots and other shots. And it was, I mean, there were times where I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. And then I'm like, oh, wow, we are right in the thick of it. We got this thing. It was a very strange game, but when you look at it from a statistical standpoint, I mean, we played really good on defense. Our offense did what we needed to do. Less turning the ball over, just a couple sloppy plays, but proud of how we competed. I mean, it's a thing that Coach Beamer talks about a lot, but man, this team plays hard, and they got a will to win, and eventually the ball is going to finish and bounce our way. It bounces our way, but we don't finish it. So in due time, it's coming.
Yeah, I'm with you. We mentioned that earlier. This program has all of the personality of Shane Beamer. You get kicked in the face, you get kicked in the teeth, get kicked in the nuts, however you want to say it. And they just continue to push forward. And they're right there. I mean, they're just a few mistakes away, Pat, from being a top 15 ranked team right now. And I say a few, maybe 2.
Yeah.
From being a top 15 ranked team in the country with these big wins. And now you got to stay on the road. You got to go to Norman this week. We've got an extended film room today, a lot of plays, so we're going to get to it early with you here in just a second. But as demoralizing of a loss as that could be, and heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, whatever you want to call it, sometimes those losses, Pat, as you well know, will kind of rally the troops. And if they can just continue to improve, 6 games left, could be a lot of wins in those 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, when you like after Kentucky going through LSU, everybody, I mean, I thought, man, this sounds awful. But we should be, I mean, honestly, sitting here at 5-1, and sitting in a really good spot. But I wouldn't have guessed that going into the season. I wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, we should have beat Bama at Bama, and then LSU coming in as a preseason. What are they? They were 10 or 11 preseason, coming into Williams-Brice Stadium. But no, this team just has a grittiness and competes and doesn't give up. And I mean, I would say we're never out of a football game. Last week we talked about us playing from behind. We were down 14-0 early in this game and didn't blink. So there's no moral victories, but it was good to see us fight back and compete. I mean, the end of the second half or end of the first half was like, whoa, we just scored 12 points in like 3 minutes.
Less than that. Yeah, it was 9 points in 9 seconds at one point in time. How about give us your synopsis of Lenore Sellers' growth through the first half of the season? Obviously, he was out for 6 or 7 quarters with an injury, and that probably slowed it down just a little bit. He has clearly made some mistakes. Those are going to get a lot of the headlines, but you understand watching a quarterback grow up and what that looks like. What have you seen?
I still have complete and total faith that Lenoris is going to be a really, really good football player at South Carolina. I don't think Yeah, putting the ball in jeopardy at times. That's just part of being a young quarterback in an SEC and a little overwhelmed at times. But I feel like what he brings to the table from his legs, his physicality, his maturity. He's a great thrower of the football too. Like, I mean, he didn't made one or two bad throws in this game, but I think he's growing up right before our eyes, and I think he's going to be a great football player here.
What is his biggest challenge right now in that growth phase of being the starting quarterback at Carolina?
I mean, we have a tough schedule, so I think maybe he's putting a little too much on his shoulders and on his plate and trying to make plays that not necessarily he has to make. Maybe just kind of pressing a little bit, but I mean, he threw for what, 250, threw for 240. I mean, the pick he threw was essentially a Hail Mary. Put the ball on the ground in the run game. But is the 2-point conversion play on here?
Well, no, it wouldn't load. I'll give you the technical response to that.
Yeah, I mean, a couple people asked me about that one after the golf course, and I mean, I just briefly watched it in live. But you wish he gives the guy a chance, but there's a D end right in his face, and he just kind of flares it a little bit. I mean, I feel like when he does miss, he misses high. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a batted ball thing or what. He's just trying to overcompensate. But no, I'm proud of Lenore. Now he's competed.
Coach Beamer explained that final play that was ultimately intercepted by the Tide. Pat is Lenore Sellers doing what he's taught to do there. He did have Nick Harbor running downfield. It looked like Harbor kind of lost the ball, maybe didn't know where it was, but he had a couple of guys open that had run shallow routes. Maybe you could have gotten him into field goal range. Who knows if he was able to see him or not, because he was under so much pressure. He kind of let that ball go with multiple hands in his face.
Yeah.
What would you make of that final play? I'm not saying the final play call. I don't know what the play call was. I don't even know if that's what it was, but just the final play overall.
I think he just thought he needed to throw a deep ball, and the receiver just, I don't even, was it Harbor, the one who kind of got held up and didn't end up who he was throwing it to?
Yeah, well, it was kind of a strange ordeal, right? Because it was Harbor.
Yeah.
But it's like he looked up and didn't really know where the ball was. He was just kind of standing around looking.
Yeah. I mean, when we had Julio Jones and Roddy White in Atlanta, like if you got to go in a football game, you throw the ball up to one of those big old jokers. And those weren't 50-50 balls when they were thrown to them. They were 80-20 balls. Lenore, without knowing and seeing the play right here, I remember watching it and being like, what in the world just happened? Why did the receiver pull up? That ball was just floated. I mean, it was dang near like a punt. But yeah, I mean.
So let me ask you this. I have no idea. This is just me and our buddy Michael Flint kind of shooting the bull on that. On a play like that, if you're kind of heaving it up there, maybe he's taught to, for whatever reason that may be. I don't know at all. But he heaves it up there. What are you hoping happens? You're hoping he catches the football.
Yeah.
But it seemed, talking with Michael about this, he's like, you're hoping not only does he catch the football, but if he doesn't catch the football, you're hoping for a PI.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in the world where calls are generally in favor of the offense, to give yourself a chance. I mean, I think that's more the frustration with Carolina fans is like, we didn't even give ourselves a chance to go get the football. Who was in the wrong there? I don't know. But on to Oklahoma.
On to Oklahoma it is. Yeah, there's no doubt. A couple of frustrating things in that final drive, like the tip ball that Jatavius Shivers probably should have batted down, and he caught it, and it ran about 20 seconds off the clock.
Hey, you're sitting here and telling me if that ball's not floating around right in front of you, JB, you're not trying to do something with it.
No, well, no, absolutely not. I know better than that.
I know JC is. JC's going to take that into the crib.
Right? Yep. Hey, maybe if there's like 8 minutes left in the game, I'm not sure about 40 seconds. You know, but it is what it is. Look,
cue the Chariots of Fire music. Dun 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 dun. dun. Jatavius played such a good game, man. It's hard to like come down on him, but that was try to get out of bounds next time. You know, try to just fall down, dude, or just I don't know.
Well, he wasn't getting out of bounds. He was in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I know. I just
what you wanted to see there was get down and then spike it, and
it took way too much time off the clock.
All right, so Carolina's going to make their first trip to Norman this week. Pat, we'll get your final thoughts here heading into this game. They're 3-3, 1-3 in the SEC, as we pointed out. A couple of heartbreakers against top 15, top 10 teams in Bama and LSU, and their next crack is a guy that knows this Carolina football program pretty well. Brent Venables, all those years as the DC up in the upstate. Based on what we know, what we've seen the last couple of weeks, what are you expecting Carolina to try to get right this week in their effort to go win a game on the road?
I mean, if Carolina plays the way they did for two quarters like this, like they played against Alabama up in Norman, I expect them coming home 4-3 and big old smile on their face. This 3-game stretch, I think we all could say was pretty daunting going into it. Didn't play great the first one, rebounded really good, played well against Alabama. No moral victories. But I think when we go to Norman and beat up on Oklahoma next week, we'll be pretty proud of the Gamecocks and how they competed this 3-game stretch.
And be coming home with a win, 4-3, an off week behind that, and then a nice slate of games to try to get some wins, starting with Texas A&M. We'll let you run, brother. The amazing, if you haven't watched or listened for some reason, you're obviously very late to the party, but Tailgate Talks is incredible. Releases every Wednesday. You can watch it on Gamecocks Plus. You can listen on our app. You can also watch on our app. There's a Gamecocks Plus link right there. And order some home team barbecue while you're watching. You know, maybe order some dinner and sit back and watch it on the big screen. It's fantastic.
We're the DiMarcos here in Columbia go down to 5 points. Not as often as we did when we were in college, but we go down there to 5 points at least once a week. That's actually where we did Kirsten's birthday dinner last week. I said, "Where do you want to go?" I said, "Kids and no kids." She said, "I want to bring the kids, and we're going to go to home team." It's like, let's go.
Nothing better than home team chicken wings, man.
Yeah,
man, no doubt. Well, Pat, thanks.
I celebrate their entire menu.